When I think of Nintendo Directs, I think of excitement, anticipation, that bubbling feeling you get in your chest when you're around somebody you're attracted to. Not so much this time. The first Nintendo Direct since the Switch 2 launched, not counting that Donkey Kong one they did, has landed, and it is the most that was alright thing that I've experienced since I watched the Thunderbolts. Now, this was a partner showcase, so there are no first-party developed titles shown off here. Sorry to break that to you, Drag Cross Drive enthusiasts. But there were a few surprises and less ports than I expected. So what's the problem? Well, nothing really blew me away. It was all just a bit They opened the show with a small surprise in Monster Hunter Stories 3. I really didn't expect to see another one of these titles, and this has a bit of a Breath of the Wild style flair, which is never a bad thing. Back in January, I started playing the first Monster Hunter Stories game on 3DS, and after a handful of hours, I never went back to it. And there really wasn't enough here to tempt me to jump in on this third entry. A welcome announcement, though, was Pac-Man World Repack 2. I recently played the first game's remake and enjoyed it more than I expected, and this one certainly looks more expansive. I'm sure that I'll pick it up at some point, probably when it's as cheap as it's going to be. And those sneaky devils at Nintendo managed to sneak Zelda in here with Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. Whilst it is a Nintendo IP, it's not developed directly by them. And so technically, it is in fact a partner or third-party developed game. And there's more of the same here. If you've played any of the past two Hyrule Warriors titles, especially Age of Calamity, then you know what to expect here. What is nice to hear is that this is canonical to the Tears of Kingdom story, which could mean we don't actually get to see Link. Could this be another Zelda-led Zelda? Hella is a charming looking game where you play as a mouse with a magical frog backpack. Man, I love games. That's right, you would venture around using your magical frog backpack to explore the world, and you can even bring along up to 3 friends for co-op gameplay. I'm not really sure what the goal is, and the trailer was light on activity apart from swinging and opening up bins, but I will be looking out for this in 2026. Now, the first truly interesting game, at least for me, came in Cronos: The New Dawn. It has that Dead Space old school Resident Evil vibe, and I am here for it. A dark, mysterious sci-fi atmosphere? Yes, please. You get to battle twisted and mutated humans that can merge together into even more terrifying monsters. Yes, please. Rifts in time that send you back so that you can harvest humans? Yes, please. But the most interesting aspect is that it brings along a mechanic from a decades-old game. Eternal Darkness on the GameCube had a sanity meter, and as that built up, you would start to hallucinate, and the game would play tricks on you. From making your character explode, to making you believe you'd accidentally deleted your dad's save game data, and then you get that hot, sweaty, panicked feeling that's usually reserved for life and death situations. And Cronos: The New Dawn is bringing back a version of that. And the best part, we don't have to wait too long, as it's set to launch September 5th of this year. Before we get to the end of the show, yes, really, there were a few ports announced, including Sparking Zero, now with motion controls, so that when I stand in the living room practicing my Kamehameha, something will actually happen. On screen, but that's still something. We're also getting Persona 3 Reload, which I've yet to play and feel gleeful that I can do it on the Switch 2, and live out my fantasy of being a Japanese high schooler that fights demons once again. You better get to the end of Yakuza 0, because on November 13th of this year, Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2 are launching on Switch 2. And I hope this means they're bringing all the Yakuza games on Switch 2. And I do mean all of them, there's like 100 of them at this point. Square-Enix closed out the show with not one, but 2 gorgeous new HD 2D titles. First up is The Adventures of Elliot: The Millennium Tales, and I thought Metaphor Refantasio was the most JRPG title ever. This takes the HD 2D styling made famous by the Octopath Traveler games, more on them soon. And instead of turn-based combat, it features active action-based combat. You play as Elliot travelling with his fairy guide, Faye. Elliot can wield 7 different weapon types as he heads off on an adventure to investigate a mysterious set of ruins found out in the wilds. A co-op partner can also join in to control Faye. I'm super interested in this, even though it looks very similar to a Mana-style game, which sounds insulting to Mana games, which it sort of is. Hey, I enjoy them, but top tier they are not. I'll probably pick this up when it launches next year. Octopath Traveler 0 is the game that closes out the show, a brand new entry that seems to retain very similar turn-based combat, but now with a customizable character and even town-building elements. I have to confess, I got bored with the original Octopath Traveler, as it never seemed to get going. It just felt like I kept starting the game again every time I encountered a new character, and I've not seen enough here to make me want to jump in with this title. And that's kind of it. There are a few other titles here and there, including a new Just Dance and a new FIFA and Madden, if that's your thing. But I was disappointed to see there was no news for Final Fantasy VII Remake, even though we did get to see more of Final Fantasy Tactics, which looks great and I can't wait for. I'm hoping Nintendo will have a direct of their own, not just partners, in September, and we can see what's coming to Switch 2 early 2026. We need to know there's big hitters coming relatively soon, exclusively to the Switch 2. But until then, subscribe and like for more Switch 2 content. See you in the next one. Bye.